Languages and Dialects, a journey through history, diversity, and risks of extinction. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today I will take you on a fascinating journey through the world of languages and dialects. We will talk about how central language is to our lives, its evolution, and its cultural importance. In addition, we will discover surprising data and some worrying facts about the risk of extinction of many languages. Get ready, because we will discover how linguistic diversity is a true wealth for humanity. What is language? Language is one of the most powerful tools we have. Think about it. It is thanks to language that we can express our thoughts, share emotions, and transmit knowledge. It is no coincidence that it is one of the characteristics that distinguishes us from other living beings. But what do we really mean by language? Language is the ability to communicate using signs. They can be vocal, gestural, graphic, and even tactile or olfactory. This ability is not innate, but develops and evolves. It is something we learn, pass on, and transform. Language, on the other hand, is the concrete expression of language. It is the system of words, sounds, and rules that a group of people share to communicate. And like every living thing, languages are born, grow, evolve, and can, unfortunately, disappear. Every language that dies is an irreparable loss, because with it a piece of the history and culture of humanity disappears. How many languages exist? Let's get to one of the most fascinating questions. How many languages exist in the world? The answer is not simple. There are between 3,000 and 7,000 languages spoken today. This variation depends on the difficulty of drawing clear boundaries between a language and a dialect. According to the UN, there are 141 officially recognized languages, but this is only a small fragment of the world's linguistic diversity. An impressive estimate tells us that every 2 weeks a language disappears. Think about it. A disappearing language means the loss of entire traditions, myths, and knowledge related to that community. For example, in Papua New Guinea, 850 different languages are spoken, making it the nation with the greatest linguistic diversity in the world. In contrast, in many other parts of the world, indigenous languages have been supplanted by cultural and political domination, as has happened in the United States, where the languages of indigenous peoples have been almost completely supplanted by English. Languages and dialects. What's the difference? One of the most frequently asked questions is, what is the difference between a language and a dialect? From a linguistic point of view, there is no rigid criterion to distinguish them. Often, the difference lies in the official recognition that a state or a society gives to a language. A famous saying goes, "A language is a dialect with an army and a navy." This underlines how political and cultural power plays a decisive role. A dialect risks weakening if it loses speakers, while an official language is stabilized thanks to a written and formal use. Let's think about Italian dialects. Each one is a cultural wealth, but many risk disappearing due to the growing linguistic uniformity brought by the media and globalization. The most spoken languages in the world. And now, a look at the most spoken languages in the world. In first place, we find English, with 1.452 billion speakers. Next is Mandarin Chinese, with 1.118 billion speakers. Then we have Hindi and Spanish, with hundreds of millions of speakers each. These four languages cover more than a quarter of the world's population. But let's not forget that, alongside these, there are languages spoken only by small groups, which represent a unique heritage. Languages at risk of extinction. According to the UN, 43% of existing languages are at risk of extinction. There are extreme cases, such as Miwok, an Amerindian language spoken today by just 4 people, or Walmatjari in Australia, spoken by about 1,000 people. Some languages have been revived, such as Hebrew, but this is a rare case. The disappearance of a language is not only a loss for the community that spoke it, but for humanity as a whole, because each language contains unique knowledge about medicine, ecology, and culture. Saving languages is saving our heritage. The distribution of languages. Linguistic diversity is not evenly distributed. In Africa, more than 1,500 languages are spoken, and in Nigeria, as many as 450. Oceania, on the other hand, is the continent with the greatest linguistic variety, thanks to the many indigenous communities that fight to preserve their traditions. But even in Europe, we have interesting examples. Think of Basque, a unique language that does not belong to any known language family, or Gaelic in Ireland and Scotland, which is experiencing a revival thanks to educational programs. Languages are more than simple communication tools. They are the voice of cultures, peoples, and their stories. Today, with globalization, it is more important than ever to protect and enhance them. What is your mother tongue or dialect? Do you still speak it? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks for following me on this linguistic journey, and see you next time.